Welcome to TAO Dog Yoga for Guide Dogs. My name is Steph Corbeil, and this is my dog Tao, and we are the co-founders of TAO Dog Yoga. Tao is a retired breed dog with Fidelco Guide Dog Foundation. And a little bit about my background is I am a certified guide dog trainer instructor and have lots of experience placing guide dogs and training them, as well as working in Fidelco's puppy program, and now I'm currently the supervisor of the breeding program at Fidelco. So I bring with me some experience in the guide dog field, and I want to share that with all of you. So today for our practice, you will need something comfortable to sit on. Right now I'm sitting on my yoga mat and it's rolled out, and next to me is Tao, and she has a little towel or a little blanket here for her to lay on. And so that's pretty much all you need to get started. So if you don't have a yoga mat, that's fine. You can sit on a comfortable cushion, or you can roll out a blanket or towel for yourself to sit on. So what we'll be doing together is starting to do some breathing and some stretching. And then what we'll do is some calm touch body handling with our guide dogs. And I'll talk you through how to do that. And then in the future, if you are interested in doing more canine stretching, I do have videos available on that as well. But today we're mainly going to focus on our breathing and calming ourselves so that we can build a connection, a deeper connection with our guide dogs. Whether your guide dog is new to you or you are a seasoned guide dog user, you'll benefit from these techniques in building a deeper connection with your guide dog. And more importantly, with the calm touch body handling, being able to handle your dog all over so that your dog is really comfortable with you putting your hands on them, which I know most of them really are. And also it allows you to detect any kind of discomfort in your dog or any changes such as lumps, bumps, or anything going on with your dog in particular. So we're going to get started. So you can call your dog over and have your dog lay down next to you on their little mat or right with you on your mat. I'm going to call Tao over. Tao, come on, Tao. Tao's laying behind me right now. I'm going to have her come join me. Come on, good girl, go to your place. Good, down, stay. So your dog may have a place command, and you can use that as well to have them go to their mat and lay down. Or you can say down and just remind your dog to stay. So while we start breathing and practicing yoga, your dog will stay laying next to you. And that's the idea with TAO Dog Yoga, is that as we practice our yoga, our dogs relax calmly next to us, and then they get to benefit from the calm touch once we're done with our yoga. All right, so come to your comfortable seat. And that may mean moving around a little bit, back and forth. And then feel yourself connect down to your mat. Feel that connection. Maybe it's to your mat and then to the floor beneath you. You're really grounded. And then notice how it feels to just sit in stillness. See if you can sit really still just for a few moments as we begin. And notice how you feel just sitting here, not changing anything, not worrying about what's coming next, but just letting yourself be here in your body and feel. Start to notice any areas of tension. See if you can start to soften. Maybe it's your shoulders. Maybe you're even gripping with your toes, so maybe a little wiggle to your toes or your fingers. Soften your jaw. Soften your face. And then begin to notice your breath. Many times when we sit down, our breath is pretty light or shallow, right? It's not this deep breathing that we develop over our practice. And that's okay. So before we start to change anything, I want you to just notice your breath. Good. Now notice what your dog is doing. So as your dog lays beside you, notice that connection you have with your dog. You're both in stillness. And maybe your dog is wondering what you're doing because you've never done this before. And your dog may have gotten up. So if that's the case, you can call your dog back over and have your dog lay back down next to you. And you may find your dog gets up numerous times while you're practicing, and that's also okay. Right? The idea is that they're learning with you to settle and be calm. So what we usually do is just have our dogs lay down. Every time they get up, just ask your dog to lay down. You'll find that pulls you a little bit out of your yoga, right? Because you have to split your attention between your dog and your breath and what I'm saying, right? And that's all normal, especially if this is your first time practicing. All right, gently close your mouth if your mouth is open. Take a deep breath through your nose and then empty out. It's nice. Let's do that again. Big breath in. And let it go. One more time, this time even bigger. Fill your body up. And let it all out. With your mouth closed, continue to deepen your breath. Then start to move. So you're going to take your hands out to either side of you. You're going to come up onto your fingertips. So your fingertips are touching. Usually you're off your mat, so you can walk them out really nice and wide. And then start to press down into your hands, press down into your fingertips, and lift your heart up so your spine grows a little bit taller. Good. And then drop your right hand down so your palm comes down to the ground. And then you'll lift your left arm up so it's above your head. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale. Start to bend over to the right side. You're going to bend your elbow a little bit to give yourself more room to reach. Keep pressing down through your left sit bone. So your left hip is going to want to pop up. See if you can press it back down like that. Take another breath, reach out even longer through your left arm, and then exhale. See if you can deepen the twist even more. Or I should say the bend even more. Good. Stay here for one last inhale. And then exhale. Come back to center. Both hands come down to either side of your body. You're on your fingertips again. Press into your fingertips, lift your heart, lengthen your spine. All right, let's switch sides. Left palm comes down, reach your right arm up overhead. Take a breath in, and then exhale. Seated side bend. So you're reaching over your head towards the left side. Your left elbow can bend a little bit to make more room for your opening. Take another breath, reach out through your top arm, and then exhale, bend a little further. Good. All right, come back to center. Both hands come down to either side. We'll start to link our breath with movement. Take a breath in, reach both arms up overhead. Palms touch when you get to the top. And then exhale, release your hands down. Let's do that again. Inhale, lift your arms up overhead, palms touch. And then exhale, release down. Last time, breath in, reach long. Exhale, release your hands down. Good, and then shift around. Notice if you've brought any tension back into your hips and back into your legs. I notice sometimes when I focus on my upper body that my lower body, I'll get tense, a little bit tense up. So let your legs soften a bit. Good. All right, and then you're gonna take your right hand to your left knee. You're crossing your arm across in front of your body, and then your left hand is gonna come right behind your back. So right behind where you're seated. And we'll come in for a spinal twist. So as you take a breath in, lift up, really long spine, and then exhale, twist to the left. Another breath, you grow tall, and then exhale. See if you can twist a little bit deeper. And then inhale. Exhale, unravel back to center. We'll come to the opposite side. Left hand crosses your body and lands on your right knee. Right hand reaches behind your back. And I like to come up onto my fingertips of my back hand. It lets me get a little more lift in my spine. So press down into your right hand, lift up, grow tall. And then exhale, twist. Good. Just like that. Do that again. Breathe in and lift and lengthen. Exhale, twist. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, unravel back to center. Good. And pause here. Breath in. And then let it out. All right, start to rock yourself forward. You'll come onto your hands and your knees. We'll be coming into tabletop position. So your hands come forward, and then you're gonna walk your knees back. All right, and then spread your palms nice and wide and start to press down into your mat. Your hands are in line with your wrists, your elbows, and your shoulders. So your hands are directly underneath your shoulders. And then your knees are underneath your hips. So you're on your hands and your knees. Start to draw your core up and in. So your lower belly, draw it up and in and engage your core. Your back is really straight. Good, take a breath here, in. And let it out. And then we'll come into some cats and cows. So for cow, you're going to drop your belly down. Your heart lifts forward. Hips press up and back. Take a breath. And then exhale, tuck your chin. Draw your belly up and in. Make a big C curve to your spine. A big round. You're pressing your spine up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, drop your belly down, heart comes forward. And then tuck your chin, draw your belly up, big curve to your spine. You're coming into cat. Let's do that one more time. Belly drops down, heart lifts. You're in cow pose. Tuck your chin, draw your belly in. Big curve, press your back up towards the ceiling. Good. Then come back to a neutral spine, which is where we started, really flat back. Good, and then you're gonna reach your right leg behind you. Press out through your heel and make your leg really, really active. Good, you're gonna reach really long behind you. Good, take a breath. See if you can lengthen your leg even more. And then exhale, lower your leg back down. You're on your hands and knees in your tabletop. Let's do that with the left leg. So you're gonna reach your leg straight behind you. Your left leg goes back. You're pressing out through your heel. And let's make this really active. So squeeze your thigh, squeeze your calf, press out through your heel. Engage your belly so that your core is drawing in. Take another breath here. Exhale, lower your knee back down. Good. And then you're going to sit back on your heels, walk your hands back towards your hips, and we'll come onto our backs. So you're going to lay right down on your back. You're going to draw your knees in. So your knees are reaching in towards your belly, in towards your chest. Your hands can hold on just below your knees on your shins. You're just going to rock from side to side. Feel your spine and your back connecting with your mat. And then you can lower your feet down so your knees are bent and your feet land. Right. Reach your your left leg. Reach your left leg long. And then you'll draw your right knee in. You can use your hands and hold on just below your knee, right on your shin. And then you'll take your right arm and reach it out over to your right, out in line with your shoulder. Palm can be facing down. And then you use your left hand, bring it to the right side of your knee, and draw your knee across your body for a spinal twist. So your right leg is crossing in front and over to the left side. Your right arm is reaching directly out from your shoulder. And maybe you turn your head so that your head is facing your right shoulder. Let's take a breath here, in and out. Come back to center. Draw both knees in. Hold on just below your knees, right on your shins. Squeeze your knees in. That's so nice. All right, extend your right leg out. Left knee stays drawn in. Reach your left arm out to the side. It's in line with your shoulder, palm facing down. And then you'll take your right hand to the left side of your knee, so the outside of your knee, and then draw your left leg across your body over to the right side. Spinal twist. Take a breath in and let it out. Big inhale. Exhale. Come back to center. Reach your legs long in front of you and reach your arms up over your head. So you're reaching from your fingertips to your toes. Everything's connected down on your mat. You're on your back. Take a breath in and reach as long as you can. Fingertips and toes. And then exhale, soften. Let's do that again. Breathe in, reach as long as you can. Fingertips out through your toes. And then exhale and soften. Roll over onto your left side. And then use your hands, let your head be heavy. So your head is heavy. Let your hands press you up to a seated position. And then you can turn to face the front of your mat. And sit up nice and tall when you get there. Long spine. Let's take a breath together. Inhale. And then let it out. How's your dog doing? Maybe your dog's asleep next to you. Maybe your dog's still getting up and down. All right? And notice the difference in your body than when you first arrived here. Notice if you feel calmer, if you're a little more relaxed. So in TAO Dog Yoga, we always start with our dog settling next to us, and we do our yoga first, so that we become really calm and really relaxed before we start to do our calm touch body handling with our dogs and putting our hands on our dogs. All right. So let's move on to the calm touch portion of our class together. So what you'll do is you're going to have your dog either lay right in front of you with their back up against your legs, or you can move to your dog, but I recommend you have your dog move to you. All right, so you can call your dog over. Tao, Tao, Tao's asleep. Come here, Tao, come on. So I'm just gonna help Tao come closer to me. Come on, Tao. She likes her spot. She went back to sleep. She's so relaxed. Good, come on, Tao. So I'm gonna encourage her to get up. Come on, Tao, let's go, good girl. And she's gonna lay right in front of me. All right, I'm just gonna move her a little bit. So if your dog is like Tao and is happy sleeping there, right? I just pulled her in a little bit closer to me, right? She didn't want to stand up fully, so that's absolutely fine. And then get yourself so you're comfortable. So I have my left knee bent in and my right leg is straight, and I'm really close to Tao so that my hands can touch her. So do that now. Get really close to your dog, and then I just want you to feel and make sure that you can feel your dog's head and also your dog's tail without having to reach too far or have to make any other movements. All right, so now that you're close to your dog, we'll start with our calm touch. You're going to take, it can be your right or your left hand. You're going to choose one hand, wherever your dog's positioned, whatever's easiest. And you'll take one hand and you're going to find right behind your dog's ears. It's where their head meets their neck. And you're going to place your hand there and you're going to wait for about 1 second. And then you'll slowly move your hand down your dog's spine. Super, super slow. I'm at about Tao's shoulders right now. Good, and I'm at her mid-back, reaching down towards her hips. I'm at her base of her tail. You can either stop here, or what I like to do specifically with guide dogs is go all the way down your dog's tail so that you can feel all the way down to the tip, just some little gentle pressure. Good, and then release your hand. We'll do that again. So maybe you do a lot of body handling with your guide dog, but this is a little bit different in that we're moving really, really, really slow. All right, so we're gonna go even slower this time. And what we're looking for here is to continue to build our trust and connection with our guide dog with our hands on them. So when we move really, really slow as we touch our dogs, they're able to follow where our hands are moving. It's just as if when someone comes to say hello to you. I know that when somebody comes from behind and taps me on the shoulder and shouts my name, I jump up and I turn around until I realize who it is, whether I recognize their voice. And then I also think of the friends who, when I meet them, will come over to me. They'll say my name first, and then they'll gently put their hand on my shoulder, just like we're doing with our dogs. So when we start to put our hands on, we gently put our hand on, and we do it slowly so we don't surprise them. So I like to think of that my own experience. So every time I put my hands on Tao, I'm like, do I want her to have that surprise, which is going to make her not relax and necessarily trust me fully? Or do I want her to have that really calm touch so she knows that I'm going to be handling her? And when we do this in Tao Dog Yoga, we always do this calm touch the same way each time. The yoga we practice will always be different, so that changes. And for us, that's nice to know, so we don't always know what's coming next, and that we move our bodies a little differently each day, depending on what we need. But for our dogs, as you know, with your guide dog, they thrive on routine and structure and consistency. So our calm touch body handling is done the same way each time we practice. So we're going to do exactly what we just did again, but even slower. So take one hand, you'll place it right behind your dog's ears. Let it land, as I say. So pause there for about a second. Tao's stretching even more. And then slowly move your hand down. I'm at the base of Tao's tail, and then my hand is traveling all the way down her tail till I reach the tip of her tail. When I get to the tip, I pause for a moment and then release. All right, I'm going to do that one more time. Let your hand come behind your dog's ears. And start to move your hand all the way down your dog's spine. And noticing if you feel any warmth. So sometimes our dogs, especially guide dogs, are always pulling into harness, and there's certain areas that they start to, build a little tension or a little heat, right? So just notice that in your dog. Right? You may feel some lumps and bumps if you have an older guide dog. Good, you go all the way down to your dog's tail. And then release. Good. We're going to add on. So we always start at the core of our dog's body where they're the least sensitive. And that's usually their spine and the main part of your dog's body. And then from there we move down to what I call the extremities, which is their feet and their ears and their face. All right, so we're going to start the same way so we can stay consistent, and this is predictable. And so our dogs trust us and begin to build trust in that every time we come to breathe a little, do some yoga and do this, they know to relax, and then this wonderful calm touch handling is going to happen next. So bring your hand right behind your dog's ears. You're going to start to move your hand down until you reach about your dog's shoulders. And then whichever shoulder is the most available, so the one that's maybe up or closest to you, you'll start to bring your hand from your dog's shoulder all the way down to your dog's elbow and pause there. You'll keep moving, so you're going to move your hand all the way down. You can start to wrap your hand around your dog's leg. A little gentle pressure all the way down to your dog's foot. And then I just like to put my fingertips, Tao's a little sensitive, so she's pulling back a little bit. I like to feel in between her pads, so get your hands down to your dog's pads and move your fingers in between. I like to feel if there's anything that I don't normally find there, right? So sometimes it's wet, so if your dog has any kind of allergies or anything like that, they'll lick their feet a lot sometimes and it might feel a little bit damp, or any lumps and bumps or scrapes. And then release. So you'll take both hands off of your dog, you'll pause for a moment. And then we'll begin again. This time we're going to follow our hand all the way down to our dog's hip. That's the most available or closest. And we'll do the same thing, but with our dog's hip. So one hand comes behind your dog's head. Your hand goes all the way down. You're going to pass your dog's shoulders. Your hand's running down your dog's spine. And then you're going to find your dog's hip. So for Tao, it's the one that, she's on her side right now, and it's the one that's facing up. So I'm going to run my hand down her hip, down her thigh. I'm going to find her knee. And then my hand starts to come together, so it's wrapped around her leg, and I'm traveling all the way down. I found her ankle. I'm coming all the way down the rest of her leg, and then I find her foot. And same thing, I'm just going to take... Ooh, she's twitching her foot a little bit. So I'm just going to gently touch. So Tao's kind of picking her foot back up and moving it away from me. Right, so sometimes if your dog does that, they just have sensitive feet, and sometimes there's something going on. So I'm going to stabilize her leg with one hand, and then I'm just going to feel in between her toes. Make sure there's nothing going on that's making her sensitive. Good. All right, and then you can release your hands. All right. Also, touching your dog's feet help with nail trims. So getting them used to being handled all over is going to help when they need their nails trimmed at the groomer or your vet's office, as well as getting them used to being touched all over definitely helps for veterinary exams. It also helps you to figure out where the problem is. So when you call the vet, you can say, hey, the problem's here, problem's there, I felt this. So this is a really good way when your dog is calm to be able to do this. And in your daily routine with your dog, I encourage you to do this body handling daily. So it's something that I do with each of my dogs. We have 3 dogs, and each of them get this body handling every day, not only to strengthen our relationship and build this trust and have this calm experience together, but also so that they're very comfortable being touched, exactly for when I bring them to the vet. All right, so with guide dogs, I like to also do a little bit of work on their face. Because there may be something that you discover on your dog's head. So with Tao, I've got to move a little bit closer because she's stretched out even more. So you may need to move yourself a little bit to find your dog's head. All right, Tao. I'm going to get Tao to sit up so that... Come on, Tao. Up, up, up. All right, so with our dog's head, I like to... Gonna move our camera just a bit. There we go. All right, with our dog's head, we want to still move with our hands very slowly and in a way that keeps our dogs relaxed. So I like to start just above my dog's eyes, right in the center of her head, and I'm just gonna take my thumb, and I'm gonna run my thumb, and the rest of my hand follows from her eyebrows all the way to her collar. I'll do that a couple of times. I'm gonna go, that was my second, I'm gonna go for 3. So that she stays relaxed and knows I'm gonna be touching her head next. All right, and then now that she's relaxed, I'm just gonna go to her nose, and I'm just going to put one hand, I'm going to feel down one side of her muzzle and her lips. And I'm going to go, she's laying on her side, so I've got to reach underneath and feel the other side, see if I can feel any differences. Feels good. I'll touch the tip of her nose. So sometimes our dog's nose is wet, and sometimes it's dry. Hers is dry, but not overly dry. Sometimes you'll find your dog's nose gets a little dry, maybe in the wintertime. In the summer, it's usually more wet, or if they just had a drink or something like that. I bring my hand back above Tao's eyes, right to her forehead, and then I'm just going to start at the base of her ears. And I'm going to almost make a little kind of C-shaped circle with my hand. And I'm going to start at the base of her ear. So I hold on to the base, the bottom where it meets her head, and then I'm going to bring my fingertips of my hand to my thumb. So I'm making kind of like a circle shape with my hand. And then I'm going to draw all the way up to the tip of her ear. Just gentle strokes. Do that again, the base of her ear all the way up. So that she feels comfortable with her ears being handled. So if I ever need to inspect them, or she needs to have any treatments done, she's used to being handled. I'm going to do that to the other ear. Start at the base and go all the way to the tip. And then if your dog is still receptive here and relaxed, I'm just going to bring my hands and I'm just going to feel the inside. So Tao's a German Shepherd, so her ears stand up. So I'm just gently taking my thumb and just running it from the base of her ear inside all the way to the tip a few times. Do that on each ear. And a lot of times If you're doing this kind of handling where you handle the base of your dog's ear and they have any kind of ear infection or sensitivity, they'll let you know. Sometimes they'll do a little yelp and you want to stop because you probably have something going on that needs vet's attention. Or sometimes they'll groan, right? So if their ears are really itchy, you have a dog that has ear stuff, they'll kind of groan when you do that because it kind of feels good, but it might also be an indication you need to go visit a vet. But I like to do all this calm touch. And we're done with the face. So I'd like you to find your dog's favorite spot they like to be touched. And I know you know what your dog's favorite spot is. So do that now. Stay really calm. Your hands are still gentle pressure. For Tao, it's right on her chest. So I just do gentle sweeps up and down. And her eyes are closing. She's still on her side. Really nice slow breathing. And then you can stop and release your hands. So that's it for our time together with TAO Dog Yoga for guide dogs and guide dog users. If you're interested in learning more about TAO Dog Yoga, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Behavior Unleashed, and we have lots more yoga videos and other stretching and calm touch videos out there for you. Thanks for practicing with us today, and we look forward to practicing with you in future videos.